Welcome back, everybody. This is the Fantasy Facts Podcast brought to you by Fantasy Data. Tonight, Seth and I are doing part 2 of our divisional breakdown series. We are talking about the AFC West. This is going to be a good one because there's a lot to talk about. Seth, how we doing?
I'm excited to talk about the AFC West.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each position. We're going to talk about sleepers, studs, busts, breakouts, try to hit on at least one person for each topic. Let's jump right into the quarterback position because it is loaded in the AFC West. We're looking at probably the four best quarterbacks.
I mean,
right?
I would say it's as a group. I would say, yeah, probably
there are 3 studs. And then Derek Carr. And Derek Carr, for fantasy purposes, has been captain consistency. So I'm not knocking him at all. But you have, in my mind, Herbert, QB1, Mahomes, and then Russell Wilson. I mean, 3 studs and then Derek Carr. So
yeah, you have probably all 4 of them top 15 minimum, and probably all 4 of them in the top 12, barring an injury. Yep. If they all escape injury, they're studs. They're going to be there. And Herbert, Mahomes, even Russell Wilson, is a lower probability, but they all have a shot to be the QB1, given the players around them, their talent level, things like that. Like Mahomes is probably, his level of talent around him definitely took a hit losing Tyreek Hill, but the level of skill that he alone possesses is enough to keep that team moving forward. And plus, he still has Kelsey. He still has decent wide receivers out there. He just doesn't have a Tyreek Hill anymore, which is probably going to impact him. But
just a little bit.
He's still most likely, barring injury, going to finish in your top 12. So stud. And then Derek Carr, who's
really good.
Okay. He's
really
okay.
good. Really good. Yeah. This division is going to be fun because there are studs at every single position. And I am looking forward to watching a lot of the AFC West this year. Let's move to the running back position. Again, lots of studs. Eckler, stud. Javonta Williams, stud. Josh Jacobs, really good. CEH, pretty good. Melvin Gordon, captain not going anywhere. I don't know how, there's a lot of studs. I don't see a lot of potential breakout. I mean, Isaiah Spiller, because the Chargers have never really had that RB2. They've tried and tried and tried. So maybe you put Spiller as a breakout candidate here.
To me, Javonta Williams has the most to show, though. He's the one that everybody is expecting him to be in a 60-40 split with Melvin Gordon, with him being the 60, or a 70-30 split with him being the 70. And I think what is concerning to me is he has this and he has that, and look at this efficiency thing and stuff like that. And there's a level of coach familiarity of, Melvin Gordon's going to get this job done, or we run this cycle, or we run this guy here. We fit into these trends. There's a reason why coaching trends is such an important piece of play calling, because teams fall into trends. Coaches fall into trends. It's what happens. And to me, I see Melvin Gordon as a true impediment to Javonta Williams being a stud. The big question is where you end up getting Javonta Williams. If you get Javonta Williams, if you get him in the 3rd round, right now his ADP is essentially the 20th pick, RB12. I think he busts at that position. If you can get him in the 3rd round, now I feel a lot better taking that opportunity with him, because I either have 2 backs in Javonta Williams, or I have hopefully a stud wide receiver, a stud running back, and then Javonta Williams. Because if he does get to that 70-30 split like some people are throwing out there,
Yeah.
That's going to be phenomenal for him. I doubt that happens, though.
I'm concerned with just what the workload split is going to be like between those two, because Melvin Gordon has been captain consistency.
Yeah.
So that's going to eat into a Javonta Williams workload. And agreed, if you're drafting Javonta Williams in the top 20, there's bust potential there.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip over to Kansas City and talk about a running back they brought in, and I'm going to talk Ronald Jones. I think Ronald Jones has serious breakout potential here. He's coming off the board as RB42, an ADP just north of 100. He's in a new offense. There's not much competition there. Like, yes, CEH was the fantasy darling a couple of years ago. I like Ronald Jones as a breakout candidate in Kansas City just because there's not a lot of competition there for touches. Like, yes, you have CEH, but yes, you have Kelsey. Yes, you have Juju. You have, wide receivers in the building there. But I like Ronald Jones coming out of the backfield in Kansas City as a real breakout candidate.
And I'll go one step further, because news out of training camp, and again, we don't want to go too crazy on training camp news, but Isaiah Pacheco, the rookie out of Rutgers, is getting first team reps in Kansas City. Okay. And so that could mean something, and it could mean absolutely nothing. But he's getting first team reps there. And I think that this is one of those things where Andy Reid may be just messing with our minds, and like he wants to get the rookie some run. He wants to get Ronald Jones. I mean, Ronald Jones has been kind of relegated down the pecking order here because they also have McKinnon, they have CEH. So there's enough ambiguity where Ronald Jones can pay off in massive dividends.
Yeah.
I'm going to go even deeper, and depending on how many rounds there are in your draft, Isaiah Pacheco may be a guy that I want to scoop up in the last round, or I'm going to put at least on my watch list so that he's still getting first and second team reps, and we're in week 3 of the preseason, and he's still available out there. Let me go ahead and scoop him up now before we get to week 1, and all of a sudden he gets some not even an astronomical amount of shares, but he gets enough touches where it's like, ooh, we might have something there.
Yeah. Yep.
So super
I like
late.
It. That's a super late sleeper. I like it. Let's move to tight end. AFC West, again, loaded at the tight end position, right? You have Travis Kelce, stud. Darren Waller, stud. The real question mark now is in Denver and is in with the Chargers, right? Yep. Noah Fant, gone. He's in Seattle now. Albert O is the new starting tight end in Denver, but being pushed by Dulcich, the rookie out of UCLA. The Chargers are rolling out, I mean, is it Donnie Parham? Is it Trey McKitty? That's the ambiguity there. And, if I can get my hands on Kelce or Waller, two bona fide studs, that's what I want. And I'm probably avoiding everyone else.
Yeah,
at least in a draft format, I'm not drafting, Albert O. I'm probably not drafting whoever the Chargers are rolling out at tight end.
And you left off probably the most likely option for the Chargers, who is Gerald Everett. And
yes, thank you. Yes, I knew they brought somebody in, and damn it, I'm mad at myself for not putting the sheet in
for
correctly.
not knowing it. Yeah,
Gerald
not
Everett,
having it at the top of mind.
Gerald Everett, definitely. Thank you for bringing that up. He definitely moves into a guy that I would consider drafting because he's tied to Justin Herbert, right?
Yeah.
You know me, I'm all about being tied to these elite stud quarterbacks. So
right, and he's going late enough where, if you miss on Kelce, Waller, Andrews, all those top guys, there's enough room for him to be good.
I'll take
that. It's worth a flyer.
I will plant a flag that Everett is the tight end breakout candidate in the AFC West. And I don't think that's too hot of a take, right?
So he's tight end 21 right now. Where do you think he finishes?
Top 15. With a full season, he's got top 15 potential in that offense.
You can do better. Go higher.
Oh, you want me to go spicy?
Go
You think,
higher.
you think
Go
he's a
do
tight
better.
end one? You think he's a top 12 tight end in that offense?
I think he could get there, but I want you to say it so that I don't have to be on the hook for
fair. His ceiling is a top 12 tight end.
I'll leave it
at that. I'll leave it at that. His ceiling's a top 12 tight end.
I don't see him in the top 10 really.
No,
that would be like that'd be a very small percentage possibility of happening. But
all right. Now we get to the real heart of AFC West, the wide receivers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So we talked Tim Patrick in Denver, done for the year.
Unfortunately.
Torn ACL, unfortunately. Yep. Tyreek Hill, gone. Brian Edwards, gone. There's a lot of turnover in this division, but we still have these studs. We still have Keenan Allen.
Yep.
We still have Mike Williams. We still have Jerry Jeudy. We still have Cortland Sutton. We have Hunter Renfrow. Oh, and by the way, the Raiders brought in Devontae Adams. He's pretty good, right? You have these monster names, these guys that have been the wide receiver one, that have been a wide receiver one. You have all these monster names there that everybody knows about. I'd like to talk a little bit about Josh Palmer in LA because I think he has serious sleeper potential. He's a guy that if I can get my hands on him, he ran well last year. He's in an offense where Keenan Allen is aging. He's 30. The clock is ticking on a guy like him. But I'll take the third wide receiver in an offense tied to an elite core, Justin Herbert. So Joshua Palmer out of the AFC West this year.
Yeah, and I don't mind Joshua Palmer. I think there's definitely potential there. I'm going to throw out a name that another wide receiver on the move, and breakout's the wrong word for it, but this is one of the guys that I think is being slept on, and that's Juju Smith-Schuster with Kansas City. So Kansas City let Tyreek Hill walk. They brought in Juju, and to me, Juju stands the most to gain in this offense in terms of outproducing his ADP. He is currently going as wide receiver. He's going as at the ADP 92. So he's still young. He's only 25 years old. He is going to, in my mind, outproduce basically everybody else that they brought in. I am not predicting Sky Moore, MVS,
Mecole Hardman.
They're not outproducing Juju.
No, it's Kelsey. Kelsey's 1A, Juju's 1B.
Yep. So I think he stands the most opportunity to take over as just a much better option than where he's going right now. In terms of guys that I think could potentially bust, and I don't want to go too far into this, but I'm slightly nervous about Keenan Allen. He is reaching his age cliff. He's going off the board as wide receiver 10. I have taken him in some redraft leagues, so it's not a major concern that's making me say it. Like
redraft, I'm okay with Keenan Allen.
Right. He is approaching that age cliff. This could be the year that Mike Williams surpasses Keenan Allen, but I think there's going to be that slow kind of like
decline. Yeah.
Right. That like Mike Williams is
up.
That way. One's going up, one's going down, and they're going to kind of meet. And this could be the year where Mike Williams surpasses Keenan Allen, which makes Keenan Allen not necessarily a bust, but someone to pay attention to.
All right. Check out our friends over at underdog.com. Use our promo code FAQS, FAQS at underdog.com. You heard Seth and I talk about ADPs and PPR finishes. We get all of that data from fantasydata.com. Use our promo code FAQS, FAQS at fantasydata.com and get 20% off your subscription purchase. Again, this was part 2 of an 8-part series where Seth and I break down sleepers, studs, busts, and breakouts from each division. Make sure you get on our YouTube page, like, subscribe, turn those notifications on so when we talk about a division you want to learn more about, you get notified of it right away. And with that, good night, everybody.
Catch you on the flip side.